Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Adventures. And today we're going to be playing Megaquarium, which is a game where you kind of just make your own functioning aquarium where people can come visit, and you have to manage all the different fish and their very complex needs. And what's really cool is that I was planning to do this for a video sometime down the line, but there was a recent DLC that came out called Freshwater Frenzy. And what Freshwater Frenzy does is adds a bunch of species that live in freshwater. So a lot of places like the Amazon and Yangtze and a lot of those big freshwater rivers. So we got a lot of species from there. I'm really excited to give it a go. We got all sorts of cool fishes. So we're going to start off with the first episode. We're going to go new game, Freshwater Frenzy. We can go select help with the small saltwater aquarium experiment with freshwater displays. So that means we'll be able to see them. So let's see how this goes. Okay. The owner of this small saltwater aquarium wants to explore the exciting new world of freshwater exhibits, and they need your help. As you design their new displays, you learn the subtle differences between saltwater and freshwater care. As you'll proceed, you'll need to complete various tasks to increase the selection of freshwater animals available to you. Only then you'll be able to grow Hitama as an aquarium renowned for both salt and freshwater fish. So it looks like we gotta make some stuff. The owner has already secured access to 2 freshwater species. Your first task is to build a house for them. Complete the objective and then open the aquarium when you're ready. Looks like we've got a Convict Cichlid. To access freshwater animals, click the following toggle in the livestock menu. This toggle also presents all menus, so you can only have objects that are compatible with both. Okay. So we'll sort that out. Let's see what species we can get. So my first task. So we'll look at some of the species in here. All these fishies. So we gotta build a tank. Time to play. And then we'll get at least I don't like using those little tanks because they're not quite at eye levels. We'll just stick with the deep water one. I think even if we just leave it like that, it should be good. So now we're going to have a look at our Convict Cichlid. So 1 to 2 or 4 plus, so we'll just grab 1 for them. And then we'll make sure everyone's happy and healthy in there. There we are. Just put 2 in there just in case. And then we'll put something to feed them with. Bloodworms. Some bloodworms. Okay, let's do that. I haven't played this game in a while, so I'm a little bit rusty. I think we might need to move that over here. I like the music. To move that so we don't put that. And we get a bronze shrimp one while we're at it. So let's put a Convict Cichlid and 1 guppy. And then we'll hire some more staff, just 1 up. feeding higher. And open our aquarium. So water plants means we need to add some plants in here. That means we should be good. There we go, we can open up now. Great work, you just built your first of many freshwater tanks. As you can see, building freshwater tanks is a lot like building saltwater ones. However, there are some differences. For example, you might have noticed that you can't put saltwater plants in a freshwater tank. You need special freshwater plants for that. On the other hand, items like caves and rocks can be placed in either type of tank with the exception of live rocks. Another difference is that protein skimmers do not work on freshwater tanks, as it probably goes without saying you can't connect saltwater and freshwater tanks with pumps. Remember to use the toggle to switch between salt and freshwater options. Okay. So it looks like here they're quite happy. So research that. So we got a Convict Cichlid in here. Oh. The owner is pleased with your first tank. They are impatient to see more. You now have your final objectives. You must increase the overall variety of freshwater animals to the aquarium and also ensure the freshwater exhibits are the center of your aquarium design. A certain portion of prestige must come from your freshwater displays. The first step to reach rank 5 is to increase your access to freshwater fish, freshwater animals. You'll need to build saltwater tanks to increase your overall prestige. Also keep your eye on message logs as you'll be offered opportunities to access more animals and just by completing different objectives. So let's just quickly pause there. Pause the game. Oh, I forgot. I haven't played this game in a wee bit. And we need to grab a door. How do the doors go? Where's stuff go? I have to put some more fish in around here, I think. See where the puppies are going. So everyone's looking happy and healthy. Yep. So we can see here we've got a Convict Cichlid, which is a fish species from the group Cichlidae, native to South America, and is also known as a zebra cichlid. The reason it got the name the Convict Cichlid is because a lot of those old uniforms that prisoners used to wear, old English prisoners, used to have these kind of stripes. So that's where they got the name the Convict Cichlid. And they're very popular aquarium fish because they are quite hardy and obviously like freshwater, and have been featured quite a lot in fish study behaviours. For example, there's quite a lot known about them. They're very interesting little fish. See, they're found around Costa Rica and Guatemala, and they're like a pH of about 7.8 to 6.6. They're like something around that range. And they're slightly more resistant to cold water than other freshwater fish of the Amazon, so they're able to live in volcanic islands over, not volcanic, volcanic lakes about 1500 meters. And they're also invasive in a lot of places like tropical Queensland and the Taiwan and USA. And they eat pretty much what they can, crustaceans, fish, insects, worms. And they reach maturity as only about 16 weeks, which is pretty cool. And they live in monogamous pairs, small caves. And they excavate moving earth and large stones. So yeah, pretty cool. I think what we'll do is not worry about talking about them too much right now. So yeah, they're quite well studied because they're quite, for example, and can be quite aggressive. So you got to be careful with that. So I might buy another Convict Cichlid. See if we'll be happy there. And then we'll add a rock. I think we'll add a rock. Yeah, that's quite nice. Got some more guppies. And then put some more plants in there. Now guppies aren't really like a they're a taxonomic group, but they include quite a few different species, also called rainbow fish. They're pretty much the most popular of all the freshwater fish that are kept in aquariums and are quite common across the world. Though their natural range is east South America, but they've been introduced pretty much a lot of places all over the world. They don't get very big. The biggest guppies typically get about 3.5 centimeters long, and the females get to 3 to 6. So a small female is probably not much smaller than a large male. It's weird for a lot of species. And then we're gonna make some more stuff. We gotta actually play the game. Let's start that. It's a deal. Won't worry about that. Come back for that later. Let's see what else we can research. So they're doing alright. I might have to grab some more. We're gonna take our time with this one. Space here. Speed up time a wee bit. Fish do we have? Make some more saltwater tanks. See what we can get that's compatible. That's that we don't have yet. Maybe yellow tang. Where's my rabbitfish? I don't have any rabbitfish. Pull it. And we can grab one. Taking our time. Just do it. Just add a couple. Oh, that's annoying. That'll be it for now. No, I don't have to get into it. Except to put them in somewhere else. That'll be fine. I'll change that soon. Man, life will be so much easier once I get these big ones. Just have to move these guys. There we are, we've got the large filter. Large heater too, so that helps. So we've got plenty of species coming up. Probably no. We'll fix this up soon, we shouldn't you worry. So we'll take there we are. Easy. Good old moray eels. Zebra morays. I like these guys. I like the colours. That's where they get zebra from. Similar to like the alternate name for convict cichlids and zebra cichlids. Rank up. So reach rank 5. Nice. Let's go. I started getting rank 5, you know, a bunch of freshwater animals using ecology. That's not all for this rank. You have access to accessories, powerful new tools to help optimize aquarium. Accessories can be equipped on staff to improve their performance. Get the additional objectives if you like in your backpack. Let's give it a try. Interesting. Just make sure my fish are happy and healthy. I think what I need to do is leave with people. Near the door. Now. Get rid of you from there. And just get some green pellets. Cool, they're all growing happy and healthily. Time to grab some more species of water stuff. Surface water. So now we got some guppies. And some suckers over there. What's really sad about guppies is that they have a very high mortality rate. So like once they get above 6 months old, they get quite but they breed like rabbits. They're very easy to get overrun with guppies. They're quite well known. Predation is obviously a big issue. Midas cichlid. Let's get that. Get all the So Mitre cichlids are territorial, so you gotta be careful. Okay, let's expand this a little bit more. Mitre cichlid, which is from Costa Rica and a couple other places. So let's see what we can change here. I haven't played this game in a while. I'm going to get back into the groove of things. So yeah, they're very heavily built for cichlids, and they've got very powerful jaws, and they have quite a bit of a size advantage with other aquarium fish, so you better be careful who you cohabitate them with, because they can be very aggressive towards other fish. So you gotta be careful. Just the vegetables. So basically big fish meanies. Yeah, so that should be good there. No, we don't need to do that, now we can play. So you guys are pretty happy. Mitre cichlid coming up, so we'll just fix up you guys here. Get rid of all of you. We have to change that in the future because we'll add more fish in that little area. Things with cichlids. Cichlids are like super weird to understand in terms of evolution, because there's some species that are like millions of years apart and still interbreed, and then there's some that are like 600 years, species that are just 600 years old, in terms of, not in terms of discovery, but like history. It's just like, wow. You think that the taxonomy is just so complicated, so you're able to breed whatever, really. Okay, so what the freshwater fish do I have? Just those guys. See if you guys will like that habitat. And lots of quality of life updates as well in this that I've noticed. Don't worry, be happy. I think what we'll do is expand this one as well. That little bit jutting into there. Well, now it has to do the other way too. Yeah. All that free space for other fishies and people hang out. So unlock the backpack dispenser. So let's do that next. Good. Not too worried actually. Happy, you guys are happy. Happy fish all around, that's all I can ask for. It just leveled up. Feeding. Might need some more food areas and such. Right there. See how that works. I'm happy to help you. And get some more machines in. We don't need bins yet. Some other ones. Shopper vending. And then we will move on to grab. Let's see what else we can grab. Some toilets. Let's go to toilets. Let's grab some bins as well. See, we got a message. Actually, let's put feeding. Okay. So everyone's looking better. Taking our time, really. So what other stuff we can mention about Midas cichlids? We'll spend some little bit of time talking about Midas cichlids, because why not? So yeah, there's been a lot of debate about the taxonomy just in general. Very nice looking. Remind me of flower horns. I think they might be really hard ones. So they're considered critically endangered by the IUCN, or the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and they are very fragmented populations, so that obviously leads to problems with genetic diversity, so they're very, very hard for them sometimes. I mean, probably an aquarium of fish. Man, I would love to have an aquarium. Let's see where those fish would be. Blind pink tetra. What we're going to do is this area. I like these deep water tanks, so you can actually go in and look at them from a decent angle. No, we want to go. Should be able to get to them. If not, we can just edit it a little bit. It should be right. And a little bit more of this video. You got a pump? Should have a pump. We got a basic pump. And then we can add so we need to get some more driftwood and stuff in there. Need to be fed. So all we'll do is just convert that. I think we'll move this. Move it. Yep. So that means we can make sure no one gets in here. So we got our, what was it? Red striped earth eater. And they just need to be fed. That's what they need. Yeah. So the red striped, they're quite easy to care for. They're semi-aggressive, so you don't need to be worrying too much about them. They like 100 gallons or whatever that is in liters. Just looking at a care sheet for them. So they have these very long snouts and such. They're quite beautiful looking fish, I think. And they are extremely aggressive during spawning. And they like to have sandy bottoms and flat rocks in their tanks and caves made out of stones and stuff. They really like that kind of stuff. And they like to burrow too, and they eat pretty much anything. They're omnivorous. They can eat plankton, pellets, and pretty much anything. As long as it's nothing too proper fish. You can eat frozen foods too. Not too hard to take care of for a lot of aquarists. Very beautiful looking. So they just need to be fed. Should we do that soon? Okay, so let's see what else we can do. Try and knock out backpacks. Let's level it up, take it up to level 2. Might need to hire some more staff. Workload's getting spread a bit too thin there, bucko. Okay. Let's see what other fish we should add. Or we could probably add them at some point. Wait to unlock that. It shouldn't take too long. Just playing along as we should. Talking about some of the fishies. Stick with the freshwater fish, because that's the focus. You guys. Hey. Have a look around here. Look at these guys. Happy fish. Some So the guppies in there, little in there, the earth eaters in here, just chilling, just vibing. Look at guppies. Yeah. Nice and little guppies. Quite cute. You like it. Almost there to unlock the dispenser. See what negative thoughts we have. Not too many. You guys stressed? Why are you stressed? Need 5 or more different decorations. Okay. Sort that out soon. Just want to get some more decorations. Hopefully some small ones. Nope. We get one more. Maybe if I think I can fix this. So let's switch this. I don't think we can quite have as much as we want in there. Let's just say so. It's all about making sure your fish are happy. Add another decoration. That's what we have. And then we've got a switch. And one of these little decorations if we can. But yeah. choose my research. We'll go with. So that should work then. You guys happy? Looks like it. So backpack dispenser. Okay, get back onto that. Nice. Nicely done. The backpack accessory is useful when you have a lot of animals all eating the same food and reduces the number of times to feed them to be returned to dispensers or free full. You might even consider grouping your animals into tanks for your food to maximize the utility of this accessory. To equip multiple staff with backpacks, simply put more backpack dispensers and assign them in the same way you did before. That's pretty simple. Quickly mark. So what else we can do? So we need to get 3 more species. Where was this? Yeah. Cave Tetra. Ready then. It's got more fish to worry about. Some big cichlids now. Looks like we got some bigger cichlids now. Cave Tetras, tinfoil bar, Cave Tetras. Some of these I have mods, so they're not quite accurate to what's actually in the game. So looks like some happy fishies in here. Yep. So, blind cave tetras are pretty sure from Mexico. And they are called blind cave tetras because they live in caves, of course. And a lot of animals that live in caves tend to lose their sight because there's no light in caves. Why do you need to look for? So they tend to lose their eyes. So they become blind, and they also become quite pale because there's no light. Who cares how you look? So they lose their main senses. It's really cool how like a lot of different species kind of independently evolve that. It's really cool to see that in here. It's really cool to see some freshwater fish too. And they can get up to about 12 centimeters long, and they're typical, like, unremarkable. They look weird. They have no pigments or anything. And they can be found in Mexico, and they like to, and they're very highly sensitive to water pressure, so you got to be careful with that if you ever keep them. And these are a really cool way of studying evolution, because there's all sorts of different factors that are quite similar to other species out there in caves. It shows how caves like kind of force you to evolve certain ways. It's really cool evolution to see how animals like lose their eyes and stuff. And they've been selectively bred in a lot of aquariums, especially in Texas, and they're quite hardy. And they can basically like to have like little lighting with rocky substrate, and they can be semi-aggressive and can school. And they don't really like, even if you hold them in a well-lit tank, they don't like re-evolve their eyes. It's something that's kind of ingrained in them. It's really cool stuff about evolution you can learn from just seeing animals in different environments. I really like seeing this fish. Let's go have a look at some other fish. I think what we need out also is some more bins. Yeah. I'm gonna have to put a tank in there. Oh, hello, I am a local inventor and have the most ingenious design for a new tank. The key feature is a suspended platform for the public that can view from the tank. To be honest, tank sort of attraction itself. You'd be willing to trial it. I'm sure it will go down well with your guests. You still have to pay the materials, but the design service is free of charge. That'd be cool. So, grab that. So let's build the tank. Jet tank. So I'm going to think of 3 different species I'm going to put in there. Let's put a basic pump. We'll use some salt water. And then pause that and see how it goes. So a lot more to heat it up. Gonna make sure everyone's happy in here. So everyone's happy in there. No problemo. I'm just gonna add some walls around this. That over here, so that should work now. happy fishes. We've got a couple more species before we finish this little exercise. That's pretty nice. Sounds our place is quite popular. Freshwater compared to that's an interesting requirement. A bunch of different textures. Okay. No tetra. You've just unlocked a tinfoil barb. That can be a little problematic because they're both a plant lover and a plant destroyer. Plant destroyers have a plant to turn a plant to take, but the chances decrease by more. Triggers with plant destroyers is to add sufficient plants so the destruction is spread out and no one single plant gets too much attention. Complete the following objective and get your hand another freshwater destroyer, the Paku. Okay, so let's get into it. Gotta make sure these guys are happy. Make sure everyone's happy and healthy in this one. Tinfoil barbs in their proper little enclosure. So yeah, responsible. Let's see. Enough money. Oh, one died. Just have to organise this one quite a bit. There we are. So we should be happy now. Okay, tinfoil barbs are from Southeast Asia, and they're quite interesting because their species itself was only established in 1999, and they're famous for having these red dorsal fins that are quite nice. And they come from Mekong and Thailand and Sumatra, Borneo, and all those areas. They are also very common in the industry of aquariums, and they like to scatter their eggs when they spawn, and they're not often bred though because they can get quite big, so you gotta be careful. And it's very hard to sex them because it's not very obvious. Cool fish though. I really like those red barbs. They're quite nice. Alright, so let's see what else we can see. We did get 8, so they should be fine for a long while. Double that. Hey, that's the one up. So we can make them up. So we just need one more species of freshwater fish and it should be good. Then we can add more and more on, of course. Complete the mission. Because we're taking our sweet time, because we're like that. Silverhead tetra. So let's see, we've got to find a habitat for a neon tetra. These are quite famous ones. They also come from South America, you know. See if they're compatible with anyone. So they're from eastern Peru, western Brazil. They like water of about 20 to 28 degrees. And they have the silver white abdomen that makes it quite nice. See if they get on with see if they get on with at least 10. There's not enough space for them. Let's see if they I'll be happy in here. I should be happy in here. Let's see. Just sell them, whatever. And then we can shoot. Build a large tank. So we'll sort that out soon. You guys will win. I don't care actually. What if I move? See if that works. So that worked out fine. Aren't we intelligent? So they have a lifespan up to 10 years with only 5 in the aquarium. These little neon tetras do. And they like flake food. They'll feed on pretty much brine shrimp, anything you can get them on. And they're quite easy to breed. They're very, very common. Tetras are just really good little species to love tanks with. Paused. Silver-tip tetra. Silver-tip tetra. Let's see what else we can add in here. Let's see what's penguin tetra. You guys are quite happy in there. It's pretty awesome actually. You guys seem to be doing quite well together. See how much space do you guys do? Be able to put one of those in there too. Hopefully. Cool. We got a big grown pet there. Penguin tetra. It's actually quite fun to just sit back and look at these guys and talk about different tetras and such. Should be able to complete this quite soon. Choose later. Choose it. So just different species. We're almost there anyway. Let's see. Penguin tetra. Yeah, penguin tetra like it in there. So they're a genus of tetras from the Amazon basin of tropical South America, and there's 3 different species, but I believe that these guys might be... They're also called penguin fish, and there's 3 different species of course, and they live in like small rivers wherever they can. That's why they're so diverse. Many different, so easy to separate different populations of freshwater fish. That's why they're quite commonly all separated all the time. And they like to school, so they're schooling fish. Let's see what other fish we can add. Silver-tip. Silver-tip tetras, which I also found in Brazil, surprisingly, and they get up to 3 centimeters long. Let's see if they'll fit in with our tether tetras. Let's see if they like it in there. They're all happy in there. We're almost there. Awesome. Need to get see if everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Just need to get so here, freshwater is this guys. So we get a lot of prestige. Even from Mexico things. 60. So we can add a couple more barbs. What about you guys? add a couple more cichlids. And a few more guppies. Kind of flood the system. 9, okay. So that should be happy fishies, happy life. So we get the prestige up. We'll hire some more people. Might add a couple more. Tank is full. Let's see. 8, so we might need to... How are we going to increase the prestige? There we are. Oh, didn't need to worry about that. Impressive work. Hitama was just a small marine aquarium. Now it's known throughout the land as its freshwater exhibits. However, good things must come to an end. You received word about an interesting project in Pascalova, and I want you to head over there. You can continue to build here at Hitama as long as you want. This message will stay in the message log, accessible via the button on left until you're ready. When you're ready to find out what the exciting project is, let me know. Let's see what we've got here. I win. Nice. So we're done there. So we'll have a quick look at some of the other fishes. So, just thinking of these little fishies. Have a quick look around, and I think we'll have a video. Oop, oop, oop. Oh, that was weird. I'd like to make my own little freshwater aquarium. That could be a little video. Go right up from the small ones to the big ones. So here we got our Convict Cichlid and guppies. Quite happy in there. Very interesting little species. In case you're not following them. Neon on silver tip tetras. Either silver fin or silver tip. Either or. Not sure. Yeah, silver tip tetras. It's quite cool little guys. It's amazing that you can hybridize them as well. So it's some interesting combinations. And we can move over here and we see red striped earth eaters, which are a group of cichlids, very interesting. I like cichlids. Cichlids are very interesting just because they're so diverse. Awesome. So leave me alone. Here we've got the blind cave tetras, which are evolved in Mexico, and they have their little caves, and they evolved the blind because they don't need to see. Why waste the energy in developing eyes when you don't use them? And then here we have got Midas cichlids, penguin tetras, which are not too different. There's 3 different species of them. Meadows cichlids, these are really big male cichlids, big cichlids like them. Oh, cool, we've got a pair in here, and then we've got tinfoil bugs. So we got that really nice red from Southeast Asia. Yeah, it's quite good. Let's see what else we got in here. Construction report, eaten. Okay, so I think we're going to need to fix it up. We'll do that quickly. Then yeah, I think this is it for today. We'll do the next one some other time. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys like and subscribe, and bye bye.